Did this little boy from St. John's Road in Spanish Town have dreams of being on stage at the West End in London or on Broadway in New York? What's for sure is that he demonstrated from very early a natural talent for performance. His years at St. Catherine High honed his skills in dancing, acting, singing, and debating. Yes, debating is performance. So why did he do a degree in media and communication? Jermaine Rowe has performed in The Lion King and Thaler. He went on to receive a master's in fine arts. He's now adjunct professor in acting, City University of New York. For the next half an hour, we'll hear his story of the ups and downs of theater on the world stage. This is Profile. I am Faye Ellington. I am just so happy when the younger generation take wings and fly. And Jermaine, you've been flying. I mean, some of those movements I've seen in dance, I mean, amazing.
Thank you.
But as a little lad growing up at St. John's Road in Spanish Town, what you used to do?
Reenact my entire day when I came home from school. My mom used to joke that when she was pregnant, she fell. And she goes, every time she would see me overperform, she goes, you don't see a lick ahead.
So you look ahead from you're in the womb.
Yes. And so I'd come home every single day, and St. John's Road was my first kind of beginnings of, I remember one of my first memory was seeing these big, beautiful trees and leaves. For some reason, leaves were and I saw them as a performance space. I would, at the end of my basic school, go in the leaves and kind of make believe and play and make up stories and would reenact my entire day by myself, creating little shows or little moments of my day as I remembered it.
It's interesting because years later you'd go on to write a play called Solitary, but we'll come back to that.
Exactly.
So what did your mom say when you're doing all of this strange thing?
Well, what was wonderful that she never gave me the word strange for it. She never made me feel like it was different. She saw as a way of me just, that's who I was. And I think that was what was kind of cool. That I never knew it was different or even special or unique. It was just, oh, that what Jermaine do. That Jermaine do. And it kept me really smart and attentive in school. So I think that was great because I would come home and I would perform the entire day of school.
This is while you're at basic school?
This was at basic school. And then we had moved to Brunswick Avenue shortly after. So my St. John's Road memory was really short. But then I would come home and reenact the entire day. And so it made me really good at my studies. So I didn't have to
memorizing
everything.
When you went to Ensom City All Age, did you do the same thing there?
Yeah, Ensom City All Age was actually when I started doing other extracurricular, just then performing arts. So I started to find myself just in service to the school. So I ended up finding that I really enjoyed Scouts and other service clubs that were in the school.
At Ensom City?
At Ensom City, which was a wonderful new space where you start finding your leadership skills. At Ensom City.
Let me go back to Mom. Did your mother identify those leadership skills from early? If I asked her today to tell me what Jermaine was like as a child of 5 and 6 and 7, what do you think she would have said?
I had a question for everything. I questioned everything, so much so that, parents would go and say to their kids, if you go to the store, don't ask me for that, don't ask me for that. She'd literally say, don't ask me any question at all. Because we'd go on a bus, and a bus ride, she'd be like this. Because, Mommy, I want that. And what do you think said this? And I would come up with theories. So I was always coming up with theories about everything. I remember there's a theory that was very embarrassing to my mother. I sat there as a kid and I was watching all these women pass by and I said, Mom, do women have two bellies? And she looked at me and like, what are you doing? So she would be afraid to take me out anywhere because I would observe the world and try to make understanding in my own head. I'm like, every Jamaican woman I see have a belly at the top and a belly at the bottom, in between the belt. I think all women have two bellies.
You better. See, that's your mother. You gave her such a hard time, but you gave her so much joy as well, particularly in your adult life. You better tell us her name and what she did for a living.
Yeah, no, so my mom, Angela Ellis, I mean, what's kind of really cool, and I wrote about this in one of my shows later on, was my first memory of my mother. She used to sell at the school gate that I went to Ensom City. She was like down the hill, and she sold candies or anything miscellaneous to kids going by. And then years later, she became a tailor. And she was very proud of that. She was like, not a dressmaker, I'm a tailor. So she made clothes for men in the community.
Did she make any for you?
Yes, she did. Like I remember many of them. Sometimes like, I mean, I know, but the guinea pig of it was the biggest son. But it was wonderful because she made all of her school uniforms, and she made the school uniform for many people in my
So your sense of
community.
dress perhaps has come
Yeah,
from your mother
totally,
because she
absolutely.
clearly
And
has a style.
we all had to assist her in that. So
How many children? How many siblings?
there were three of us, my older sister and my younger brother. So I was the middle child and very middle child in the sense that I was very independent. Yeah.
Let's move to St. Catherine High School. What were those years like?
Wow, St. Catherine High School, weirdly enough, I knew, it was common entrance when I did exams back in the day. And I knew in my gut that St. Catherine High School was the school I was going to go to. Like before I remember saying her, I think I'm going to go to St. Catherine High. And I
Why?
felt it. I don't know. There was something in my gut. And years later, I started to recognize that that little thing that I heard in my gut was always something I should listen to. And I heard it in my gut that St. Catherine High School was supposed to be the school. So I went there with open arms.
And if you had to define that experience in a sentence or two, how would you?
Of the gut feeling,
No, of the experience at St. Catherine High when you eventually got there.
it was everything I hoped it was going to be, and then a million times more.
How so?
Because I found my voice as a performance artist. I found myself as a leader in an organization. And I remember when at the end of leaving high school, was this bittersweet moment. I really felt like high school was some wonderful years, and I'd gained so much knowledge and exposure and myself because the school provided that for me.
Let's talk about